Morning. Welcome to Tel Aviv for our international guest. We're happy that you arrived. Thank you very much. For those who are upstairs, please take your seat. We are starting our day. So, Israel Annual Programmatic Conference. We are doing it for the 4th time, and we're looking forward for an interesting day. There are some people still stuck in traffic, but they will catch up. And so I want to thank all of our speakers and companies and the sponsors that arrived. We will have a great day today. I want to invite Mr. Cheng from Baidu to give our keynote.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Hi, my name is Alex Cheng, and I'm the VP at Baidu in charge of the advertising products and development. And it's my pleasure to be here and to share with you a little bit of what we see in the China market and how we apply technology, AI, big data, and so on to the realm of video advertising. I'm going to talk a little bit about the markets and how it looks like. This is my second time to Tel Aviv, and it's a beautiful, beautiful city, and great sunshine out there. So, well, I wish that we can do this talk right outside under the sun. Yeah. So, well, I'm going to go ahead and move on and give you some of the overall numbers, big pictures, right, from China market's perspective. Right, first of all, we see that as you're all aware, right, China is a very big market. If you look at the internet population, the growth is slowing down, but still it's growing modestly year over year. And right now it stands at about 772 million internet users, right? Yeah, and the penetration is about 56% of the population. Still, you know, I think there are room to reach out to the rest of the population as well. Compared to, let's say, US, just a sizable comparison, about 275 million users, and the internet penetration is about 84%. Pretty high, right? And of that, we see, do they watch video? Of course they do, right? So we look at of the 772 million internet users, 582 million, 75%, they watch video regularly, right, over the internet. And then compared to the US market, 223 million, which is 81% of the watching digital videos. So as you can see, the percentage is high, it's pretty close, but there's still more room to grow for the China market as well, to catch up with the US kind of penetration. And the users, they're very young, right? They're younger population. So the average age of the internet users in China population, it's about 20 years old. And to give you the scale of how young the population is compared to, let's say, age 25 and below, the internet users is about the size of the US population, right? So you're talking about 300 plus millions of users, like 40-something%. Okay. So for these very young users watching videos on the internet, it's a common practice, right? I think they hardly will go to watch the traditional TV, and we'll look at how the advertising spend and how the advertisers respond to that as well, with this very young user base. Okay. So if you look at the overall ad spend in general, comparing the China market to the US, we see that the overall digital ads and traditional ads to overall in Beijing, in China, is still growing very fast. The total growth is about 15% year-over-year growth of the total advertising pie, of which 60%, more than half, 60%, is spent on digital, right? And this number, I think, about a year and a half, 2 years ago, that's where they cross over, right, from 50% ad spend on digital versus traditional. Compared to the US market on the left, on the right, if you can see, the total pie is bigger in the absolute dollar, right? It's $207 billion for according to eMarketer for 2017. And it's still growing, like 7% year over year. But as you can see, the growth rate for total ad spend in China is more than twice the growth of the US year over year. And digital ad spend, video ad spend, it's also growing very healthily, 35% year over year. And presumably you can imagine they are taking from the traditional TV ads and then shifting. And I think the number has it that by the end of this year, early next year, the US market will reach the tipping point. And that tipping point is something that China market reached 2 years ago. And since then, you'll never turn back the clock. And forever, you'll see the digital ad spend is going to outpace and continue to grow more and more, and as a percentage over the traditional ads. And of the digital pie in the US market, you can see $15 billion, which is about of the $207 billion. So there's about 7% is on the of total ad spend is on the digital video ads in US market. The percentage for China market, you can see is a little bit higher. It's almost 50 billion RMB yuan of the 528 billion yuan market. So there's almost 10%. So as you can see in the China market, the growth is fast. The digital video ads growth is fast, and as a total percentage, it's also bigger. And I think the trend is continues to be widened as the digital ad spend continue to take more dollars from the traditional TV ads and then shifting towards the digital video ads. So as you can see by now, the China market is on hyper growth, both in the overall pie as well as the spend on digital video, right? So one example I want to give it to you, and for all these digital video ads, where do they show up, right? So for example, this video property called iQIYI, which is Baidu, one of our portfolio companies. Recently, just last month, it went IPO, and it's one of the, it's the top, it's the Netflix of China, right? The business model is slightly different. I can go into a little bit details, but this is where a lot of the digital video ads dollar is spent on them, right? So for, let's say, like a Netflix of China, the business model reinvents itself a little bit. It has a different tag, and I'm going to show you some of these innovations, if you will, in the China market and how it's monetizing through video, right? So just roughly high numbers, iQIYI is a top property for video, online digital video. And it has about 460 million subscribers, 421 million monthly active users. And for these subscribers, they're spending 1.7 hours every day watching TV series and game shows and what have you, right? And their revenue model, right? And compared to Netflix mostly, predominantly, I think, is the subscription. But for iQIYI, a video site like this in China, the top video site, the revenue, 47% come from advertising. So you can actually watch free with powered by advertising dollars and doesn't pay the subscription. Or you can pay the monthly subscription, and then you have a different tier of subscription from gold users to premium users, and that is about 38% of their revenue. So overall, this is a very common business model that is evolving rapidly in China. And one of the hot shows, and this is how the advertisers will engage and brand advertisers. I'm just show you this clip. They produce a lot of shows, and this is one of the competition show. It's like the China Got Talent, right? And this guy is like doing dancing. And last year was hip hop, and this year, these are super hot shows. Every episode, you have 200 million users watching it. 200 million users, okay? And this is, the title of this show is called the Hot Blood Dancing Crew. It's translated literally. But as you can see, some of these top very popular, and people are voting online and supporting their favorite dancers. And the dancers will work with brands, with iQIYI, to portray their brands through their very unique way. So you can see that as they create the content is very well blended in to support the brand as well. So you can see even the move that he was dancing, he tries to capture the essence of the brand, and through him portray the brand and supporting it. And people were supporting it from rounds after rounds on the rounds of competition. Every time, every episode, 200 million viewers supporting it, and he's one of the top 3, I think, right now in the finishing, right? So this is one way, and you can see the advertisers love it. Yeah, especially were very popular. It really touched people's heart that he strive very hard and succeed every round, and then having him to portray the brand and how he draw or make the moves that portrays a cell phone or Pepsi Cola, and so on, right? So I think, and the advertising dollars for that each episode, it can runs into millions to high, almost like 10 million range RMB, right, per episode. So the adoption is very well. And this is only one example, one such show, and there are many, right? I'll show you. Again, just to show you another, some of the magnitude of how all these video ads is evolving and trying. For example, the engagement, right? The engagement model is also evolving and allowing brand to engage users through these game shows as well. So for this, everybody is familiar with this game show, right? Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? It's been around for years, right? So there's the equivalent of that show in China as well. But of course, that is on the in some network, and every time you have 1 or 2 contestants, right? Not too many in a show. But with internet, right? Last year we see a phenomenon, right? First we see this in US we have the HQ Live, a trivia game show. It's on the mobile app where people can participate. So we see in 4 months when it becomes very active, you have up to like 400,000 participants, right, going online. So they'll answer like 10 questions, and each person, when they survive towards the last round, they'll split the big prize, right? The big prize could be, I don't know, hundreds of thousands of dollars. And if, let's say if there's only 1 winner, and then he'll get that, or if there are like 10 winners, everyone will split equally, and so on. So that's a scale, right? But in China, everything's, the scale just, you have to add some more zeros to it. So China caught on the wave, right, towards the end of last year. So IT and many other properties, they have video game shows online as well. And at the height, within 2 months, they have reached like 100 million participants. 100 million, right? In answering the game shows. And every time, at the peak, you're talking about millions of people online at the same time answering these questions, hoping to get the final prize, right? And the ads dollar behind it, right? I mean, some of their sponsors are paying millions per episode, and collectively, every episode could reach up to like 100 million range of ad dollar. And imagine that, how do you just spend these ads? Actually, it's very well spent. Let me give you an example. For example, some of the brand advertisers, they'll be injecting questions that's related to their brands. And then, because they ask the questions, oh, what's the size of the Mercedes R-Class sky roof? Do you know the answer? You don't, right? Everybody will start searching. We see, and Baidu as a search engine, we see the query volume. Every time we see game shows like this, we see spikes of questions people ask, right? And people want to say, what is the size of the Mercedes R-Class sky window, right? And well, you have 100 million users asking that questions, and some got it right, and voila, you know, the market educates itself that, you know, how big, you know. So this is quite amazing. So I think the advertisers like this way of engaging through game shows online, live. So can participate on a massive scale. And so on. There are many other video properties. I'm just listing them out to you. I mean, the news feeds, you have no strangers to that. A lot of the video ads with the fixed format, you can buy programmatically, and there are PDBs attached to it and so on. We have the short videos. Short video is actually growing like crazy right now in China, and all kinds of brand placements or virtual emotions that get attached to it, very much like a Snapchat thing. It's also thriving in China as we speak right now. And The third one, online shopping. You can see shopping videos about products. It could be about, let's say, this particular video is about making some kind of dessert or something. But the tools and the ingredients, you can see the video at the bottom, it pops out whenever it reaches that item, and you can save it for later. At the end of it, you can click on the right button on the at the right-hand corner, bottom right. It will show you these are the items that we use, and you go ahead and buy it. So there's a way to show video. And this video could be made by the manufacturer, or it can be done by KOL, right? And then they publish it through various platforms. So these monetizing through this kind of video, and there's a very good place for brands as well. Live shows, and we talk about the live shows about, it's also a phenomenon in China. There's, for example, they have these internet celebrities, and they'll be endorsing products like makeups and so on, and it's going very well, fashion for young women. And also the offline screens. So all the screens in China, they are more and more connected. And all the screens are connected, and some are personalized. For example, you can be screens outside a shopping mall, and people walking past it, and can see different ads, right? And it's more relevant. And in the bottom, you can see this personalized, like buying a fruit juice. You have this a screen that allows you to interact, and there's another way they can do very targeted video ads as well. So as you can see, so many ways to interact with all this video. So you probably see the overall environment. You can see the challenges behind as well, right? You have so many users, right? And how do you find the right people for the advertisers, you know, to deliver the right message? And you have a lot of content, very appealing content. And how do you find the right ones, right, to drive your the digital experience and to enrich the engagement, right? And also you have so many platforms, you have the online, offline screens and everywhere, and how do you choose the right media at the right time, right? So all this, AI is a key technology behind to make sense of it all and to deliver the kind of value for advertisers and to actually benefit our users as well. Yeah. So I'm going to talk a little bit about how the AI technologies apply to these three areas. First, to find the right people, we understand the user's intent very well, and through big data analysis. And with the right content, we deeply engage with the users. We can apply AI techniques like AR, augmented reality. I'm going to show you some example. And also the cross-media, how we can do the cross-media engagement, right? Understanding user intent is nothing new. I think Baidu as a search engine, we spent a lot of effort over the last 18 years to understand for every query, what do people need and what do they mean, and to distill the intent. And with that, we show them the right advertising. And of course, intents are all connected. For example, a new mother may have the needs for buying baby health food, and you also need products with baby care, child education, and also maybe personal care, and so on and so forth. So how do we know these, what we call knowledge graphs? It's all done through a lot of natural language processing over the years in understanding how these concepts are related. And once we generate this intent knowledge graph, we can better predict if a new mother started with one intent for baby health products, chances are she also need baby food product suggestions, and she may also need baby care, child education, her personal health, yoga lessons, and so on and so forth. So all this is all done by AI technology. And I think in the last couple of years, as the AI is getting more mature, we can draw this graph better. And in the AI era, right, we are seeing search evolving to become search plus feeds, just like Google plus Facebook. And search is where you look for information. It's a pool of information, and the feed is a push of information. And it's only until in the last couple of years where the AI technology can recommend really, really well. So the push, the feed, the recommendation can work very well, and that industry is also booming very rapidly. As part of Baidu's information access, I think in the AI era, we see that information is both pull and push happening at the same time. So for example, if let's say the same, the newborn mother is thinking of taking a family trip to Japan. So there's just an initial search and to see what to do in Japan, maybe to watch look at flowers and so on in the springtime. And as she's looking for information in the feed will start recommending, let's say, the video ads for Japan Airline, okay, and hotels and things to do as well. So, and she said, oh, actually this Japan Airline, let me check to see, do they have the right flight at the right time? And then you start searching again. So we see feed and search and feed, and this will revolve around the user intent to do a certain task and to hone in on one intent and then cross over to the next and so on. And that works very well, I think, in delivering the right video ads experience. Smart interaction, I think we talk about AR, VR, and all these, I think it's powered by a lot of good machine learning algorithms behind. And I'm just going to show you some fun brand examples I think that we have done in the past year or so. And we have data to show that rather than showing just a normal video ads, but if you have the video ads that have an AR component that encourage them to interact, the conversion and the lift is significantly improved by as much as 50%. Yeah, so all these are different brands that allow you to engage with them in the real world. Yeah. So AR as a branch of the AI, I think, together with VR, I think has a lot of potential to strengthen the user engagement. And of course, the brand also is creating more and more video ads with us. Baidu knowledge search, the Baidu Wiki is the #1 knowledge property. So every time I'm going to ask something either through the mobile phone or through the smart speaker with a voice-enabled smart screen and so on, they'll tell them about the brand story. So there's a lot of the brands right now is working with us in creating these brand-related knowledge about the brand, knowledge about the products, and be able to easily retrieve them through different channels. Right. And lastly, I think through the right media, I mentioned a little bit about the screens, right? Video ads works best with screens, and the bigger, the better, right? Video is the best format to deliver the message. And the screens can be personal within your home, like a smart speaker with a TV, with a small screen. And it could be on the kitchen countertop, or it could be a smart TV in your living room. And it could be a public screen. And public screens, some are just, it could be digital signboards, but they are all connected to the cloud. Or it could be personalized screens, like a vending machine, or like going through, I think vending machine is a very big example, or maybe some doors as you interact to go in, and then there are some screens to help you interact. So all these things, the screens are connected, they give us a way to deliver that screens and the right video ads. And the video ads doesn't have to be long, it can be very short, 6 seconds, 15 seconds, to deliver the right message at the right time for them, right? So this is one example I think I mentioned a little bit earlier. Yeah. So this screen at the mall we see, it actually just do facial recognition, right? And recognizing this young woman roughly of this age, and of course all this is powered by AI modeling. And for a guy walking through, you say, oh, he's a guy, a young gentleman. Oh, you'll show him what we think would be suitable for him. Yeah, and there's a lot of good potential behind in understanding what he's wearing there and then. If he's wearing a red shirt, or maybe he likes red, and then you recommend him something that's more tailored. So being able to do personalized ads on video at a large scale, I think is becoming more and more of a reality. Right. Okay, with that, I think I just want to give you some, throw out some ideas and what's happening in a very rapidly growing market like China. And I think video has great potential. And AI technology is one part of it that can make everything works better. All right, thank you very much.